now. My son back home. I say, you okay? You alright with it? Mm-hmm. Why you ain't looking at the phone? You alright, man? My son used to go with me. I don't even know if they can see you. He used to go with me on service calls sometimes. Like I say, man, when I started my business, the problem was sometimes when they see a young individual grow too fast or get too far out there to where sometimes the adults feel like they can't reach back and pull them back in. They try to do things to shut them down. When I started my business in 2018, my son was going with me on service calls. And like I say, on Mondays, I would make enough for me and him to, we will be good. I made good money. And in certain places in Apex, Cary, and Wilmington area, I made good money traveling up and down the road. That's why we stayed in Wilmington so much. But back to the other video. You okay? Yeah. He just waking up though. When it comes down to certain things, when I talked about the gas piping, you yawning.
Yes.
No, he talked about the gas piping that you all right, man? He just came about it. He just woke up. All right, you go back over there then. But when you talk about the sometimes I say, man, spiritual warfare. You go to place and you come back and I got the wolf. I don't know. You've been sleeping most of the day. But when you deal with the when I was talking about the gas piping, the reason why I don't deal with certain gas piping, because people try to get you to touch their gas lines on their old houses, and that stuff is so brittle on the end. And if it breaks and start leaking somewhere, then you have a leak throughout the house, and then they want to try to blame you for it. No, I don't fall for that. Now, I do have yes, I know how to work. I can gas tight certified. I can do that too. I've been doing this. There's a lot of things that people are unaware that I was qualified to do, and they overlooked me because they didn't believe me. But I have all my gas tights. You go in there. I used to, on new constructions, build the gas manifolds. Put your 2 PSI regulators on it. It's going to certain appliances in your house. And then you have to put your pressure test on the end and block it off. It has to hold, I would air them things up to about 30 PSI, so a whole pressure. So when the gas company come out there and check, before they hook up a meter, they want to make sure that gas line is holding pressure. Man, I've been doing that. I just don't do it on older homes. I might go in there and do exhaust the gas manifolds on new construction. I know how to run gas type, the gas pipe. Same thing with the UV lights. I was installing UV lights way before COVID even started. I will not go in there and install those UV lights on any of the new equipment now because it has the AT-Well Freon is more flammable. So I will not be installing those on any type of equipment that has that type of Freon in it. This is one of my old brochures. This is one of my old brochures. It's Advanced HVAC Repair and Ductwork Solutions. HVAC tune-ups, Freon chargers, a clean indoor and outdoor coils, filter replacement, thermostat replacement, ductwork replacement, airflow adjustments in your hot and cold spots, install vapor barriers and crawl spaces as well for moisture in certain levels of the house. And I help create solutions for new homes, additions and renovations and add-ons. And full whole house ductwork replacement. Man, I was doing that. That was me. And the crawl spaces. Now we'll go to people's house and seal off their crawl spaces. You can get different levels of your panels that you want to put up in your crawl space to keep the moisture barriers down. But people, like I say, man, I only had a few people that invested in my company when I did that. You should go to a place on Tryon Road and you can get your adhesive sealants, your adhesive spray, and you fit your venture tape, your short tape, and I will seal on crawl spaces. Or you can go to Lowe's and get your moisture barrier paper and roll down across the top, across the floor, crawl space, and nail it down with your C-clamps. I was doing that, man. wrapping metal ductwork in commercial buildings. Like I said, man, I was doing all that stuff for other people who own their own companies, and people didn't even know they were paying me under the table. They were going on vacation and stuff like that. But the problem was when I started doing so many of those jobs for those people, while I was out doing those jobs, the people who call themselves trying to help me watch my son, they were doing other things behind closed doors, trying to reap some type of benefits for him or off of him. So I refused to have my presence absent in my child's life. I refuse to allow the system to come in and try to raise my son and program him with this weird agenda they're trying to force off on people. I refuse to, man. The world is weird enough as it is, man. But I've been doing stuff like this in my business since I was I started doing air conditioning heat since I was 13. I took it more serious. I had other jobs in between then, but when those other jobs didn't work out for me the way I thought, I started taking air conditioning heat more seriously when I was 19, all the way up to I was 30. And then that's when I started my own business. And like I say, when people saw I was making good money doing that, they tried to find a way to come in and try to control me and block me because I was making more money than some of the older ones that was around me. So they tried to come in and condemn me because they didn't want other people to see the value that was really in me. So they tried to shut me down by any means necessary. They didn't want me to get qualified to do certain jobs, or I would go out there and do the jobs, and they would have other people go behind and sabotage my work to try to cause me to have a field inspection. That's why I started taking pictures of my jobs when I left, so I can go back and verify and show people, like, man, nah, that's how it would look when I left. I say, man, it's more than one way to skin a cat. I've been doing this for many, many years. Many, many years. But you just got to know how the game is played. Stay out the way. Y'all be blessed, be encouraged, continue to word for the spirit, man. Just feed your natural.